Aurore Belfrage, and I'm from EQT Ventures. And I have the honor of moderating this discussion about growth and strategies. And let's start with some introductions. So please give us a brief overview of what your businesses do.
Hi, so I'm the CEO of CornerJob, and CornerJob is a mobile app that helps streamlining recruitment for blue-collar workers. And so we're present in Italy, France, Spain, and Mexico. There's 132 people in the business at the moment, and growing very fast, so I can give you more detail afterwards.
My name is Luc Elzinga. I'm the CEO and founder of Tiqets. We are the world's largest platform of admission tickets, so we're bringing together venues and a lot of people who want to enjoy culture on a very easy way.
Philip Hadberg, General Manager, Deliveroo in the Netherlands. Deliveroo is a company that brings you your favorite food from your favorite restaurants to your home or office.
So when you have the privilege of sitting in a panel and using words like growing very fast or we are the biggest, etc., things have happened before you're able to use phrases like that. And I'd like us to take the next 20 minutes to dive into that. What does growth mean? How have you changed over time? And more importantly, which I find fascinating, how have you translated that into an organization? What type of people have you employed, etc., to make this happen? So let's start with you. How's the journey been?
Yeah, so I said we're now more than 130 people, and we started with 4 guys, 4 co-founders, very international setup from scratch, which leads to one of the points you mentioned, what type of people. So very international company. There's 17 nationalities now. And yes, we started, I'm French, 2 of my co-founders are Spanish, and 1 is Italian, which is also one of the reasons why we went international from scratch. We launched Italy first in September 2015. 3 months later, we launched in Paris, in France, and then Spain and Mexico in February of the next year, yeah.
So I led expansion for the startup that I co-founded. And even though you're driven by growth and opening new markets, there's a fine line between quick and doing it properly. And how did you find that when building an organization?
Yeah, so
we didn't find that, by the way. Full disclaimer.
Initially, actually, so as I said, I think it took us 6 or 7 months to launch 4 countries, so definitely went for doing it very, very quickly. But then in each of the markets, and then since then we haven't expanded, so we did a break for a year, I guess, not a break of working, because we've done a lot of work on those countries, but then expansion now would start again very soon, but we did a break after that. So initially very fast 4 countries, and then in each of the countries, we've not gone for the traditional model, I would say, of, penetrating in a geographic area, penetrating it on one vertical, and do that for a bit of time before you expand within the country. We've actually gone very fast at national level in each of the countries.
And for Deliveroo, I assume that you've had a city-by-city growth proposition.
Street by street in the beginning.
Street by street, I like that. That's a good new buzzword, so we should tweet today.
No, we literally had, in the beginning, we had a map of Amsterdam, and we had a highlighter highlighting each street where we had some marketing activities on, which was very, very, aggressive.
Was that a strategic plan that you thought through, or was that a necessity that came out of learnings?
No, it was a necessity because our product is very different street by street, because it depends on the restaurants that deliver to you. And so we wanted to be hyper relevant to every customer we talk to. So that means you are very constrained with what you can say to that person that lives on that street. And yeah, so we started in the part of Amsterdam, and then we literally grew street by street. That was the beginning. And on your question of quality versus growth, for us, it was always clear that quality needs to start, because real growth comes from, 1, repeat customers and referrals. So that was always, every day we started with, guys, whatever we do, we should maintain our quality. We also sometimes actively slowed down our growth because we wanted to maintain the quality for the customers that were trying our platform. Which is a tough balance to keep every day.
It's hugely tough because growth you can measure more easily than quality. So you need a tool to be able to measure successful quality, both internally and evil investors and other pressure points?
Well, yeah, well, luckily we have pretty good ways of measuring quality, and ultimately you measure it by repeat rates, again, right? Do customers come back? And that's because even if they tell you they're satisfied, right? If you get an NPS score of 80% or whatever it is, if they don't come back, that's what really tells you a lot. And I actually find those insights, okay, I find the connection between why. So you know that they're dissatisfied or very satisfied, but what really made the difference? That's tough. And it changed a lot in the last year and a half.
In what way?
I think, so when we started, service levels were very poor in the market. So waiting an hour for your food delivery was standard. And so we came with 30 minutes. We're currently below 30 minutes. But now that's becoming more of the norm. So, you know, customer expectations are very quick to change. So every time you deliver on something, that, you know, the next day that's the norm. So you need to overperform every day. It's tough.
And for you, how has growth translated from a vision to something operational?
Well, we totally blew up in the first year. And we thought it was because we thought there was a market. It's easy to integrate the whole world in terms of entertainment. And then you discover that the whole customer experience was so poor. People had to wait for 48 hours for a ticket. People had to print tickets while they were traveling. So, and we presented to the investors, of course, immense growth from 1 to 14 tickets a year. That's 1,400%. But of course, it's nothing. And we were lucky. I was lucky to have guys on the team who say, okay, this is not it. We're not solving a problem. We're trying to create a market, but not solving an issue. And we said, okay, if we really want to change something, we need to go back to the drawing table and make a really great product by interviewing people. Still, we have 2-3 people every week with an app, with a GoPro on top of it, and just asking people, you know, we are not decisive, our clients are decisive. And we went back and just only did first Amsterdam and connecting the venue at the source, so we could provide instant tickets, mobile on your mobile phone, accepted, and just 2 seconds before you enter. And then we saw, okay, you know, we have something. And I think that's what you also said. It's all about the quality of the product. And then we saw repeats, and of course we have an egg and chicken problem because we need to have a lot of supply to get more repeats. So now we're so focused on going to 100 cities, but also with great quality. So our growth is sometimes also less than we wanted because we want to have a great product, and people love it because of that.
And you said I was lucky to have team members, and I'm not sure I believe in luck when it comes to these things. How were you, what I assume, deliberate in looking for people that shared your vision? Because it comes down to building the organization.
Well, it was luck because, you know, I think if you try hard enough, okay, then maybe luck is not luck anymore. But getting different people from different perspectives. So our COO, he studied physics. You know, he's really smart. And he said, okay, we're only going to release a product if it's really well. And I'm more the commercial guy, so I want to go fast. You know, so we're fighting every day with a big smile. And some new guys in the office, they say, okay, do they really have a fight? But, you know, and then you can build a great product, including the speed of going fast.
Which I find interesting, because that's also my experience, the fighting with a smile concept in the office. And one of the things I've thought a lot about and love to hear your ideas on is how do you balance the time, the horizon where you're going, and a strong vision for that, as well as creating an organization where people have ideas and are enable their creativity, but you can't execute on everyone's idea.
Yeah, so that's a real challenge.
It's a huge challenge. How have you solved it?
I'm not sure we've completely solved it yet because we're still quite young and we're going through that process of basically, you know, that's the biggest challenge is to make choices and say, I'm not going after that opportunity because if I do, then I'm losing focus and there's 50 opportunities and you're going to do maybe 20% of each of them, whereas you could really nail it in the 5 that you've chosen. So we're really into that process right now. We've identified challenges of our business, you know, since the beginning of this year. We've selected 3 of them, which are the 3 main challenges, and now every initiative has to be related to this. So there's a lot of communication about, you know, on a weekly basis, I'm sharing with the rest of the team all everything that's progressed on those challenges and updating everyone on, you know, the focus that still needs to remain on those so we don't start to do many other things around. So not completely solved, but clearly one of the main challenges of the business to keep everybody aligned on those main challenges.
But at least it's on your horizon of what you're thinking about. And you guys, how have you thought about this?
I doubt anybody has solved it, but I also want to say there's a lot of value in letting the individual person develop their own, you know, initiatives and creativity and find the innovation not only top down, because I do agree with a good sense of, you know, direction for the company, but it shouldn't overshadow any entrepreneurship that happens throughout the company. So that balance between what, you know, how free do you let wild ideas go and people just run off with things that you really don't think are wise to do, and versus, you know, having a very strict direction. Because to be honest, most of the times I've really been surprised when people in an organization came to me wanting to do something that my initial reaction was, that's stupid. And, you know, like a few weeks later, I really had to tell myself I was stupid. And that, you know, that brings a lot of energy in the company. So it's a tough balance, I find.
So, confession time. How did you come to the conclusion that you were stupid in a few weeks? Did they continue to argue their case? Or did you have a dream one night and you go, boom?
Well, I think, you know, culture trumps strategy every time, right? Culture, the way the organization works, that's way more important than your strategy. So part of how we look at people and decision dynamics is, you know, make sure decisions are made as low in the organization as possible, allow for local entrepreneurship by the individual. So I actively try to tell myself, you know, fine, you know, let them try. If they fail, awesome, then we'll find another way to do it. And just be honest about the results. You know, just I have no, you know, it brings me real pride if I've been able to create a platform where people can do stuff themselves that completely contradict me, but are still awesome for the company.
Yeah, no, it's a fine balance act. And look, how have you been thinking about the iterative organization?
Well, I think it's a big dilemma because you're so focused on perfect execution. So as a small, innovative company, you tend to be not innovative.
Wait. Who does perfect execution?
No, but I think that's a goal you must strive to. What we try is to keep focused on execution. We have 2 days in the 2 months, and we call it crazy days. And the team doesn't work on anything on the roadmap, but with each other, so tech with customer service, and those guys think of projects they need to finish in 2 days. So we first did 1 day in 1 month, but that's too small, so 2 days. And at the end, they're going to demonstrate it, working products. Like what we did is already that you can go in with NFC. It was bringing a computer, of course, with them, but it was working. To keep innovative and to put it somewhere on the roadmap and think of the innovative things we need to build in the future. And I think that's helping because every new idea, oh yeah, we need to put it in the crazy ideas, and do you want to join my team and make the content and make the tech working? I think for us it's a nice thing, but I still think it will stay a dilemma in fast-growing companies.
Personally, what I like about that is mixing teams.
Absolutely.
And just creating, there's something in the serendipity of movement just in the office, and that frees up brain power to ideas that you didn't know that you had.
Yeah.
Which is hard because you're uber focused and you're uber stressed, and you need to deliver, to create that space.
Yeah. It's unbelievable what they create in 2 days. Yeah.
His smile looks genuine, so I believe him. So we have a few more minutes left, and you're going to run 45 sharp, I know, because you've got a train to catch. But let's round this session off, which I think has been really interesting on growth, with your best tips on growth hacking.
I think one thing, well, you shouldn't always follow the playbook, right? So we said earlier, maybe, one way to do it.
Not one size fits all?
You know what you said earlier about, we try to learn and have the real product market fit and not go too fast initially and have this balance in having the right product, etc. In our case, I think we didn't really do that initially. We went for going fast. Why? Because in our case, that was really, this sector was under the hotspot. There were many people coming, and we had, to get the markets and the brand awareness very quickly. So we made the deliberate choice to basically go there, mass media, create a brand very quickly, and maybe along the way we would lose people, which wouldn't have the ideal, perfect experience, but that was the price to pay to really lead the market quickly and then improve gradually. So that's not an advice that works for everyone, but depending on the markets, I mean, just consider, if you want to go fast or have the great experience and burn some customers.
Philip, before you run off, one suggestion, one tip?
I hope, if it would have been that easy that it was one tip, no, but it's relentless focus on the thing that makes you different.
Makes you different?
Well, you're going to have a lot of competition. There are going to be a lot of alternatives for all these consumers. But what is the real thing that makes you different? And just reiterate that every day to yourself, to your team, because you need to have a special thing for your customers. Otherwise, they're not coming back. Otherwise, they'll switch like this.
Ungrateful bastards leave you immediately enlist. No, it's true. Luke, final words?
Well, in addition, of course, so much has been said. I think keep the whole team on one floor. And we're now struggling with that. And send people on the street to really listen to your customers. And I think it makes those two things, in addition to the other guys, I think can get you very far.
Brilliant. We've had 20 packed minutes of focus on your customer, focus, there is no playbook, and be different and listen to your customers. I've really enjoyed this. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you, guys.